Well, hello again, Mean Green fans and friends, and welcome to episode 4 of the pandemic provoked program At Home with Hank. We've gotten so big, we have a big time sponsor in Virus. And so when you're dealing with high rollers like that, you have to get it right. And while I really enjoyed doing this program from my back porch, one of my special places, the Wi Fi just was not working real well. So today we're in my other happy place. This is Radio One, 5 stories high at Apogee. This is the booth where Dave Barnett and I work on Saturdays when the Mean Green are at home. Prior to Dave and I working, I had the pleasure of working with George Dunham. And today, as we go back in time and take a look again at that 2013 football team, a night where George and I got to see one of the greatest defensive performances, and perhaps you saw it as well if you're a good Mean Green fan. It was an October night, and it was a big night. We were on Fox Sports 1. These posters were all over campus. You can see Dan McCarney looking like Freddy Cougar. He was getting ready to sneak out and perform his own nightmare on Bonnie Bray against the Rice Owls. The Rice Owls here on a Halloween night. And when we look back at 2013 before, we talked to Derek Thompson, the quarterback, who would end up being the MVP of the Heart of Dallas Bowl. But really, that 2013 team was really about defense. And on this night, the defense came through with an 8-play goal line stand, simply known in Mean Green lore as the stand. And we can't talk about the defense with just one guy. We got to have two. So today, we bring in number 35, the Hall of Famer, the Raven, Zach Orr. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just trying to stay safe and everything, enjoying time with the family, but I'm doing great. All is well.
So you're back home in Texas right now, but you will eventually head back to Baltimore with the Ravens whenever all this gets figured out.
Yes, I will. I'm taking full advantage of being able to work from home. Don't get that much time with the fam during the season and during the off season. So now we got this little break where we can work from home and everything like that. Decided to come back with the fam and enjoy time with them.
I think everybody would say if there's a benefit of what's been going on in the world is we have spent more time with family. And so that's
Mhm.
great to hear you're getting a chance to do it. Now, our other guest, Marcus Trice, has been a busy man. You've been moving on up in the high school football world. Tell us what's going on with you.
Yeah, man, I've been pretty fortunate and pretty blessed to be able to have different opportunities each year I've been in high school so far. I'm currently the co-DC, special teams coordinator, and secondary coach at Lovejoy High School. It's a job I recently took. I'm really excited about it, man. It's a great coaching staff, and really excited to be able to have the opportunity to go and impact some young lives.
And we tried taping this thing last week, but again had some post-production problems. But I think Zach and I would agree, your hair looks so much better this week. I
Yeah,
mean, work. Can
man.
you give a little critique? I mean, Trice is looking spot on here.
He definitely is. Got chopped up, man. Fresh fade, feeling like a new man. It transform you, every man knows that. You get that fresh fade, get cleaned up a little bit, feel like a new dude.
Yeah.
Okay, Trice, now it's on you. Who has the better beard here? I mean, I've been working this thing. This is my COVID goatee right here.
Nah, man. I think we're gonna get the best beard right now, the 3-5, man. Mine more edged up. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of clean cut, but that boy Zach Orr, man, he got a grown man beard. I got that fresh out of high school beard. It's just starting to connect on the sides.
Well, it's good to see you guys have not lost any of your personality, and we're going to need it for the next 20 or so minutes because we're going to look back on an unbelievable night. And as we begin to roll the footage, you guys just talk a little bit about what this felt like. We were on Fox Sports 1, nationally televised, Thursday night, and this was a game where you had a chance to become bowl eligible. What was the electricity like inside the stadium? And either one of you guys, just jump in and give me your thoughts.
Man, it was electric. I mean, we had 5 wins on the season already. We did a good job. The coaches and the school and the whole athletic program did a good job throughout the whole year. Broadcasting Hit Six, trying to get a bowl game, and we had great support from the fans and from the campus that whole year. And just for that to be Halloween night, a chance to win and hit six games, it was electric in the atmosphere. It was electric buzz around campus that whole week.
Trice, it was a blackout that night. Did you like playing in those uniforms?
Yeah, those uniforms were pretty dope, man. We put those on. I don't think I don't think we lost in them either of the times that we played in them. I think we played them in the bowl game and against Rice, maybe another time too. But we weren't defeated in those black jerseys, man. It was a special deal to bring that black into the with that mean green, that Kelly green, and that white, man. It looked good.
So the joint was definitely jumping on this Halloween night. And as we begin taking a look at the footage, it's I think important to point out Rice was rolling too. Rice had a really good offense. Tyler McHarg was their quarterback, and they had a great run game with Ross and Dillard. But this game starts off with some defense, and that's Aaron Bellazine, who would end up leading the team with 9 sacks. He's emblematic of how much depth the defense had, not just at the linebacker core, Zach, but just all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, we were a great defense. Part of the reason because all of us played with each other the year before in the same scheme. But I mean, it started up front with the D line led by Aaron Bellazine, Sarge McCoy, Richard Abbey, Ryan Boutwell. Those guys led that D line. We were deep at linebacker, like you mentioned, in the secondary. We were deep as well. So the main thing we played as one unit, which helped us out a lot, and we played as a team, played as one, which led to great defensive plays.
Yeah, and if you look back, that particular defensive unit, you guys had gone through 3 coordinators before finally settling in back-to-back years with John Skladany. And we can talk about a lot of coaches, but Marcus, just talk about the energy that Skladany brought and kind of how he really morphed this defense into what it became.
I think we became a reflection of Skidani. He was a guy who was very detail oriented. I think he was an excellent communicator, and I think he was very, very passionate about the game. Um, the, he was tough as nails. Like he walked around with a little oomph in his neck, and I think we just kind of took on that personality. He was soft spoken at times, but I mean, he was 60 plus. I can't even remember his age at the time, but he was soft spoken at times. He communicated well, but when it was time to roll, you would see him kind of getting a little hop and a skip with that knee brace on and get him going, man. And he loved ball. And I think the way he approached the game, um, man, it completely changed the dynamic of what we were able to do at North Texas.
Yeah, it was a veteran staff, but a bunch of guys that had won a lot of games across the board. And early in this game, an uncharacteristic mistake, you end up with a snap that goes through the end zone. So spotting Rice 2 points, that's not what happened most of the year in terms of special teams. Special teams were really valued by that staff, but boy, that's one of those moments where teams can say we're off to a bad start and lose their focus. But you guys kind of just brushed that early mistake off. What was the sideline like after that foible early, Zach?
I mean, it was calm. It was calm, cool, collective. Like we had a lot of seniors on the team, and we said before the season, all the seniors we got up there, and we were like, this year is on us. We're not putting this on nobody else. If we want to go out here and have a great year, it's on the seniors. So we'll do that by our play and by our leadership, and that's what we did. And our coaches was great, Coach Mack and Coach Gadaney, Coach Perry, even the special teams coordinator. They all preach being resilient, not flinching in the moment. Things not gonna always go our way. How it's about how we respond. So it was calm. It was nothing normal. We went out as a defense. We're like, come on, let's go out here and stop these guys. And we've been through every situation throughout our careers at North Texas. So that wasn't new at all. So we knew that 2 points weren't going to beat us, and let's just go out there and bounce back. Let's throw the next punch. We knew it was going to be a dogfight.
All right, I'll let Trice do the play-by-play here. North Texas led the NCAA in fumbles recovered with 15 at this point in the year. So if you make a mistake, now you got to make a play to make up for it. What happens right here, Trice?
I mean, basically what happens is that we do what we do. We play like a single gap defense. Guys block down, tight ends block down, not triggered. And one thing you can't play for North Texas on the defensive side of the ball if you're not tough, if you're not fundamentally sound. And all I did was what I was coached to do. I was able to get my head on the ball, and then you got this guy who's a ball magnet right behind you making a play and taking it for 6, man. I'm telling you, like, it was so special playing for that defense. Tough guys, big guys, little guys, guys that were under-recruited, over-recruited. It didn't matter. It was you see the celebrations, like, it was a true family feel, and a lot of us still communicate now, like, sometimes big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And right there, you get a glimpse of a couple of big-time players, I think, making big-time plays when the moment arose itself.
There was a reason Rice was in first place in the West Division. They were able to respond as well, and I like their quarterback McHarg. He was a guy that would bounce back, and he comes back with two strong scoring touchdowns. And as you look at this, you're realizing, okay, we've got to make some adjustments. What were the kind of things that you were talking about as these plays unfolded to try to make sure they weren't going to happen all night?
I think we just had to kind of settle down. It was a good team. They were seniors as well. They were on a Conference USA winning streak. They were the top dogs in the conference at the time. And I think the thing that was underrated was that we came off of a short week. We played them on a short week. We played Saturday at Southern Miss, and we came back home and played these guys Thursday. And I mean, our coaching staff did a great job preparing us. Coach Kadani, Coach Mack did a great job. But it's different when you're going through plays in practice and then going against guys that actually run the plays. And it was a little fast. They were a little faster and executed obviously a little better than what we've seen previously. So we just came to the sideline and just talked it out, and we knew what we had to do, and we were able to get that fixed.
Defense had to make adjustments. That always happens, but the offense also has to get in a groove. And we talked about this before. It seemed like anytime a Thursday night nationally televised game popped up, the Jimmy Show was on parade. Marcus, tell us what the Jimmy Show was, because we're going to see Antoine Jimerson break one here.
Antoine Jimerson, man, is just a guy who extremely confident, to say the least. A guy who, when his number was called, when the moments were at their biggest point, he played big. And he was a young guy. I think this is probably what his redshirt freshman year or the true sophomore year or something like that. He was a young guy then, and he got his number called, and he just constantly made play after play in our biggest games. And it's kind of exciting to see kind of the growth and the maturation of young guys. And Antoine grew up throughout that season, and he became definitely a pivotal player for us during that year, man. It was great to see.
For that team, you guys found ways to score all over the place. Defensive scores, you see Jimmy on the ground there with a big touchdown. But here comes the guy that I thought was Captain Fantastic all year, Breland Chancellor, and he's going to do something that hadn't happened in 9 years, almost to the date. He takes a punt to the house, and guys, he goes right through the teeth of it. The last guy is the punter, and he has no chance.
No chance at all. I mean, I was shocked that they kicked to this dude, man. I mean, since he stepped on campus as a freshman, he's been a dog on that field, and if you kick to him or the ball's in his hands, it's a threat to go the distance at any time. And especially at this moment of the game, they're backed up. They punt the ball. The punter hits it right down the middle, right to him. I mean, the whole stadium, at least our sideline, we all knew what was about to happen, and it did, man. Breland, he just has a knack for making plays, and like Trice said earlier, big time players make big time plays in big time games, and he's definitely a big time player, and he made the play.
So I know in the National Football League, it's a lot different with the roster size and the specialists. But in the college game, and I'm thinking, Marcus, you feel this way about high school, it makes sense to put your best players on special teams because that's where you're going to have plays like that. Breland was one of the best players, but you could put him anywhere and he was productive.
Literally anywhere. I mean, here's the thing that people don't understand about Breland. Like, he doesn't talk a lot, but he was probably pound for pound our toughest player. He was pound for pound our strongest player. You look at his weight room numbers back then. I mean, this guy was probably 175, 180 pounds, and he worked out with offensive linemen. He worked, like, I'm not even joking. And so it's nothing that Breland couldn't do. If you punted the ball to him or kicked the ball to him, you better have your best 11 on special teams because it's going to be tough to get him down. And as a guy that blocks for him, it's like it makes you that more juiced and that more willing to put your body on the line and to sacrifice because you know what he's capable of once he touches the ball. And I mean, it's a reason why he's one of the best players in North Texas history, just because of just how he worked and how much we believed in him and how much he believed in himself. It was fun. It was some good times.
Yeah, and I think one of the enduring plays of that year was between the hedges at Georgia, where he took the 99-yard kickoff return for touchdown. I still get chills thinking about that because when you can silence an SEC crowd with a play like that, you've done something. And man, that to me was one of the great plays I've ever had a chance to see in person. So Breland gets us rolling again, but it is the defense, guys, your crew that was emblematic all year of just making adjustments to the point where a game would start to turn. And I felt like here, as we look at Will Wright making a play, this is where the defense started saying, okay, it's time to take over. Did you feel like that was happening in this game at this point, that the defense was getting in a special rhythm, Zach?
Yeah, definitely did. I mean, we had those we gave those two touchdowns early. This is coming out in the second half. That's one thing that people don't realize about our team in defense. Like we were the best second half defense in the country. Like we didn't give up many points, and that's a credit to the guys locking in, listening, and listening to the adjustment from the coaches, and that's a credit to the coaches. I mean, getting on the same page, coming up with halftime adjustments and doing what we need to do to come out and stop guys because we knew that's where the game was going to be won. We knew we were a second half team. We knew that we were in shape physically and mentally to go out there and handle our business. And I mean, like you see right now, Will Wright making plays, Kenny Byers, everybody making plays. It was really collective group. Can't stress that enough, man. I mean, we have some smart, high IQ football players on that defense. Like for real, like these dudes are like high IQ, smart. Like me and Trice probably aren't even the smartest dudes on defense, and we're pretty smart players for real. Like so it's crazy.
If you did just the eye test, you probably wouldn't say, well, I bet the best open field tackler's got to be that number 31. But Trice, Kenny Byers is pretty special.
I mean, it's a reason why he's playing as a freshman. I mean, you think about it at a time like that where I think both of our corners from the year before were returning. Um, and those guys end up kind of getting into the rotation, but ultimately it came down to Kenny Byers and James Jones. And being a cornerback at that level, and the type of defense that we play, those guys are put on the island by themselves. And so they were either going to barbecue or mildew. And I think our boys came out with the cooking apron on and they barbecued each week, man. It was exciting to see young guys. First year starter James Jones on one end, and then Kenny Byers, who I believe was also a redshirt freshman that year, come in and make plays and to set the edge of the defense for us and to make tackles in open space versus people who you may think are better athletes based on appearance. But when it comes down to it, big dogs gonna eat. And I think Kenny did a heck of a job of establishing himself and really making plays for our defense and freeing up us to just do whatever we needed to do as far as safety play and linebacker play. Having really good corners on the edges just made a world of difference for us.
Another hallmark of this defense was takeaways. North Texas was +9 in takeaways. That's a sign of a good team, sign of a winning team. And here comes one of the craziest picks of the year. I think in front of a sold-out crowd, even the beer vendor may have gotten a hand on this ball. Zach, you can tell us what happened here, and then we'll let the guy that comes up with it finish.
Yeah, so this is like Rice. The reason why they were probably so good offensively was they ran a lot of misdirection plays, and they try to trick you. They try to trick you and get your eyes in the wrong spot. And these one of the plays that Coach Gadani was just harping on linebackers and safeties throughout the whole week. Like, hey, they're gonna try to play action you and throw it right over your head. And so repped it in practice. And Trice knows this. Like we went over when we had our scout period time. Like Skadaney was on us, man, and we ran the same play like literally at least 10 to 15 times a day, and you got it every single day of practice. So we seen this play multiple times. One of the key plays we had to stop and got a good read on it, and I seen the receiver look up and was able to get my hand on it, and it's a great play by Trice running over there because he's all the way on the other side of the field. And every day before we start practice, we do pursuit drill because you want to get tips and overthrows. You can save a touchdown, whatever the case may be. If you run to the ball, good things gonna happen. And that's a great example of this right here. I hit the ball up, and Trice runs over, and James Jones hits it. Then Trice gets it. So it was great, man, and it was good. I thought he gave me a touchdown earlier and gave me a turnover earlier, so I had to return the favor. That's what we do.
Yeah, we got the right two guys on this show. Are you gonna show this to the kids at Lovejoy, Trice? I mean, this one's a good tip drill example.
Nah, man, I'm not. I'm gonna just I'm gonna let them because usually what happens when I get to a school, the kids once like some coach on staff are gonna tell them I play college ball and they'll Google it. But trust me, it's on my highlight tape. So if they Google my highlight tape and they figure it out, then that's how they'll see it. But I mean, like Zach said, I think the biggest thing was just this play is kind of a representation of like our attitude. Like you had to run to the ball. If you look at it at the beginning of the play, I was down there with the linebackers.
Mhm.
And we heard pass from the sidelines and we all dropping to go deep, and it's just a bunch of guys around the football trying to make a play on the ball, trying to do whatever they need to do to help the team be successful. A bunch of guys that wanted the football. We had arguments and debates about who was going to have the most interceptions, the most forced fumbles, most forced tackles, most fumble recoveries, most tackles, TFL sacks. We had arguments in that locker room about every single stat, and so this is all just the heightened level of competition that you see out there with the defense.
Well, this was a good night for you, and you would cap off the season leading the club in interceptions. And of course, Zach, you tackled everybody everywhere, 17 tackles alone in that Louisiana Tech victory. And so the defense has now done the things that it's done all year, and the offense is able to put some distance between Rice and North Texas on this play. It's going to be Thompson again finding Jimerson, this time on the little flare. And I'm telling you, Jimmy had a night.
Man, he had a night like we talked about earlier, man. They call him Jimmy Show for a reason because whenever we on TV, he gonna put on the show. I'm telling you, like he's been that way since I've known him since we were younger, man. He's been that way, and that right there. The good thing is like when people look at our 2013 team, obviously defense was probably the strongest point. We all know that's no secret, but the one thing that offense did do a great job of that led to wins were they capitalized and scored in the most opportunistic points of the game, man. Like, so we stop these guys. We get a turnover at midfield, boom, they score. You know what I mean? So that's how you win football games. That's signs of a good team, and that's what they did the whole year, man. Like, whenever we got a turnover, they capitalized, turn those turnovers into points, touchdowns, and which you need to win. So right there was a great example of that. Created some distance, and I mean, we got 2 touchdown lead. It's gonna be tough to beat us.
Yeah, it's now 28-16, but there's a lot of time left in this game. And this is where the defense comes up with the stand. Rice gets it down to the 1-yard line. And just to give you a little feel for the stats of this, fans that were at the game may remember it's 8 plays because of a defensive hold that we're going to talk about that resets the situation. But in the 8 plays, there are several losses. They end up losing 12 yards total and no score. And let's take a look at the stand. And we'll start with you, Marcus, because you make the first play here. They've got it goal to go with the 1, and you're able to come up with a 1-yard loss there, sticking them at the 2.
I mean, I kind of can keep saying the same thing, really. Like, those guys didn't want to block us. Like, that's what it came down to. Like, as far as being on the North Texas Mean Green defense, like, some guys wanted it better than others, and Rice's receivers did not want any part of us at all. If they weren't catching the ball, they didn't have a chance. And ultimately, you see a lot of plays by the secondary down on this goal line stand because we wanted it better than them. We wanted it more than them. Our D-line wanted it more than them. Our linebackers wanted it more than them. And so what you see right here, just an opportunity of me to be able to show them better than I could tell them. And our defense, you see, like, look how many people around the ball, how excited we are. Like, I think that's the thing I miss the most about how special that team was, is like we always celebrated together. It was a special time.
Well, they can't find anything on the edge, so now they're going to try to attack Mike Nelson's defensive line, and watch out for Sarge McCoy here. Also, Laramie Lee comes in. And just talk a little bit about Mike Nelson. He's no longer with us, but what a special guy he was. He did a great job with that D-line, and McCoy was a big part of it, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Nelly from day one was probably the oldest guy on the staff, probably the smallest guy on the staff. But I mean, he had the most energy. I mean, this dude came with energy every single day, all day. And it's like even days where it's natural, you hide out there, you hide at practice, you're tired, you may not feel like giving your all or whatever. Coach Nelly will always get you going just by his energy, and that rubbed off on everybody. And he really cared about you, not just as a football player, but just as a young man. He was a family man. I mean, just a great mentor to all of us, man. He was like a father figure to every player on that team, even though he'd even coach me. He wasn't even my position coach, and Trice could attest to that too. He made everybody feel special, and he had a relationship with every single player on that team, man. And his energy and passion and toughness reflected right in that D line, man, because our D line was tough, man. Those guys, they didn't get a lot of publicity and everything like that, but they did the dirty work up front, man. Like you said, Sarge McCoy right there, all those guys, Richard Abbey, Boutwell, Lincoln, Bellazine, Austin Orr, all those guys. They kept us linebackers and safeties free, so we could just run around and make plays, which is great. I love that. I don't, we don't want to see big 300-pound linemen in our face. We just want to go run and tackle. So those guys did a great job, and those guys will tell you Coach Nelly was a great part of that. And Coach Nelly was on them. Like Coach Nelly was tough on them. And I mean, those guys, those big, like Rich Abbey's what, 6'4", 330, 350, whatever, however big he is. And Coach Nelly is way smaller than him. Coach Nelly get in his face and get after him. And I mean, it was great, man. And those guys love and respect him, and we miss him. But I mean, I know he's proud. He's proud of the way these guys played this game and this season. It was great.
Trice, he used to sit crisscross applesauce in the corner in the team meetings. I mean, he'd be sitting on the floor Indian style. Remember that?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. His wife just hit me up this week, like on Facebook, and she was telling me like about them riding their bikes down like the Pacific Coastway, like Pacific, I don't know, the PCH, like the big highway in California. And like we just kind of reminisced about like some of the trips, like him telling us about all the stories about his fishing trips and like him walking a mile. Like he lived in the sun. Like I think he hated being inside. Like I don't know, just Coach Nelly's just such a great dude, and it was tough whenever he passed away, but he's definitely a guy that's near and dear in our heart. Just a very unique personality, but a great person of value and respect, and definitely was a great relationship builder. So, I mean, just rest in peace, Coach Nelly.
So his brick wall up front forces Rice to think about the wide side, and they're going to the right side. Zach Orr, you got a pretty good read on this one.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'm like telling you, like we did a great job situational football. We repped this play probably 1,000 times throughout the week. Like so Danny and Coach Mack was gonna make sure we knew what was coming. Like I'm telling you, whether we will, within the rules, we was gonna run that play as many times we could in practice that if we didn't get it right. But I mean, it's a great job by the D line. They couldn't run the ball up the middle. Haven't been running the ball up the middle the whole game. So they try to work outside, and then I'm telling you right now, nobody's blocking our safety. So Lee comes up, beats the receiver block, and strings the ball out, and I just go out there to clean it up. But I'm telling you right now, like we got Trice is on here. Trice and Laramie Lee are the hardest hitting safeties I've seen in my whole football life, man, for real. I'm telling you, it's a reason why, like Trice said earlier, nobody, Rice didn't want to didn't want to block him. It's what those guys put on film. Like, if you go back and look at Ball State game, I mean, these dudes are like literally breaking dudes in half, like for real. Like I'm hearing bones pop, like, all legal hits and everything, but these dudes were knocking the snot out of people. You know what I mean? And it showed on film. And I mean, guys didn't want no parts of that. So, that's what it was. It was great.
Looking back on that season, and I remember it now, when you mentioned the Ball State game, that was a big moment because that was another game where you dug a hole but proved early you could get out from underneath. And I feel like in a lot of ways that season turned when we beat Ball State early. That was a really hot day, not as big a crowd, but that was one of the ones that kind of showed the measure of this team early. And then we just kind of kept trucking, where you just didn't worry if you fell behind. You felt like you had ways to make ground up.
Yeah, speaking of that Ball State, it was funny. I don't know if you remember this, Trice. It just made me think about this. I thought I'd share, but it was real hot, that Ball State game. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that? So we wore green on white, but like a couple days before, I think like Coach Mack and them tried to call the coaches to see if we could wear white since it was gonna be so hot. And I don't know if it happened or not, if they just told us to get us fired up or something like that. But apparently they told us, no, these are the jerseys you guys selected. You guys are gonna be the ones that's gonna, burn in the sun with your green on and stuff like that. So it was great. We fell down 27-9, and then second half they didn't score no more. They were tired. I mean, they were gassed. Like they were.
Yeah, they were gassed. And then just to piggyback off that, like if you know Coach Mack, he will find any reason in the world to be pissed off. Excuse me. He will find any reason in the world to be angry, and like he's gonna use that as motivation to like get the team fired up. Sometimes I think he made up stories just to get us. But like I think, like I said, we were a reflection of our coaching staff. Yeah. And Coach Mack took a lot of stuff personal. Yeah. And because of that, as a result of that, in a positive way, we played with an extra chip on our shoulders. We took a lot of things personal. Guys doubting us. You look at the Ball State game, our offense, Derek Thompson probably played his best game of the year. Outside of the Heart of Dallas Bowl. I think we forced like 4 turnovers. Like We had some forced fumbles, some fumble recoveries. We had some interceptions. Will Wright with the game-winning interception that game. Laramie Lee had a forced fumble and an interception. I think I recovered a fumble that James Jones forced. Like it was like Zach said, we were one of the best second half teams in the nation that year. And I think all of that comes back to we were a reflection of our coaching staff and we were a reflection of the relationships that we built. That's why that 2013 team was real fun to be a part of, man.
Well, you talk about taking things personal. Here's something that everyone took personal. You forced the fourth down, and McHarg is going to try to go to the end zone here. And you don't see it in this play, but the flag is thrown. Defensive holding. Either one of you, who reacted to it first? Was it on Abby?
I think they called it. They called on Whitfield, Trice.
On Whit.
Yeah, I'm like, we don't even know where the flag. I'm still. I mean, how many years has it been since? I mean, I still don't see where the flag's at. Like, I really don't. Like, but it's a human error game. Refs make mistakes too. So, we were calm in the situation. Wasn't nothing new. Actually, around this time, it was getting fun. We used to do that. We used to do this all the time against our offense in practice and everything like that. So we used to always go against them, and we'll argue if it's touchdown or not, if somebody was down, this, that, and that. So, we were having fun around this point in time. So, hey, now we got a new challenge. Let's go stop them again. I mean, Trice got the secondary together. We got the front together, and let's go back out here and stop them.
Ultimately, what it came down to, I think, is leadership. Like, Zach probably won't take credit for this, but like a lot of the times he didn't talk a lot. Like, let me get that straight. Like when the game got started, Zach wasn't doing a whole lot of talking and hoorah and like that ain't who he is. Like he ain't a rah-rah guy. That ain't never been who he was. But if Zach looking at you and be like, bro, I don't care, just play the next play. Like that's what you're gonna do in a time like that. And I think that's kind of how he was and how our leadership was, how our seniors were. Nobody really cared that they threw the penalty. I think you see the D-line probably care because they tired, but
I know Abby mad. Abby
mad. Abby he probably cursing right now.
Abby mad.
Outside of that, I mean, like it was like a play the next play mentality. We stopped them for 4 downs. We had been stopping them the majority of the second half. Really, we had been stopping them for 2 quarters up until this point. So it's like, all right, well, let's see what they got. They're gonna have to do something out of character because it's a short field. Let's see what they're gonna be able to do. And we were really confident going into it that we're going to stop them another 4 downs. Pretty simple for us.
Keep in mind, fans, this was a number 20 ranked scoring defense, North Texas. So not about to give up anything easy in the red zone. You're having fun. Let's try 4 more. Dillard's going to try to burrow here, and Will Wright, Brandon McCoy once again. Nothing happening up the middle. Rice is running out of options here. Could you sense they were getting frustrated with just play calling?
Yeah, they was getting frustrated, man. I mean, because that's what they couldn't do anything they wanted to do. Like down here, we got them. We made them play left-handed, and we were one of the best red zone teams in the country. And I mean, we talking about stuff now. We telling you guys what we were and everything. We took pride in that stuff. We were proud. We were proud of what we were doing and where we ranked and stuff like that. We looked at it, so we paid attention to it every week. Us as players and coaches. We were one of the top red zone teams in the country, and we took pride in that. So we made them play left-handed. They were frustrated, man. They tried everything. They tried to throw the ball. They tried to run the ball to the middle, run the ball to the side. Nothing's working. So, we figured out pretty soon they're going to tap out in a minute.
So 2nd and goal to go. We'll try a little play action rollout. Trice, the linebackers weren't easy guys to pick on, were they?
Nah, them dudes are like I said, Derek Akune, Zach Orr, Will Wright. 2013, they were 3 of the best in the country. They worked as one unit, and it was really special to see. Kind of like, and you see they trying to like go quick game RPO before RPO was like really popping like that. Like it's not working because our backers were good at reading keys. Like we played fundamental football, read keys, get to where you're supposed to be. And our secondary played relatively well, like all season long. And so, like Zach said, we were very confident going into it. 2nd down, 1st down, 4th down, it didn't matter. As long as we knew that, as long as we did our job and did it at a high level, we were gonna be in it. So that's kind of what we did: 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down, and run it back.
Here comes 3rd down, and still at the 2-yard line. 5'11" James Jones with what I call the flipper of the game. And Trice, you got an appreciation for the small package big hitter. He was one. He was sure one.
like I said, if you know James Jones, you don't care how big you are, how fast you are, how tall you are. He don't care how many brothers you got, how many sisters you got. If you challenge him, you better be ready to go right then and there on the spot. Like I said, him being a part of this defense made us that much better.
You're fixing him up there, making sure he's got his pads back in.
Yeah, because he didn't care. He probably got on ankle braces showing. Probably ain't got
He
on
did
no
not care
gloves
about
like that.
swag.
He didn't care nothing about swag at all. He just dude from Acres Home that's gonna play football. That's what he cared. That's what he came to North Texas to do, and he'll let you know it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being up here in the radio booth, I've had the pleasure of hearing some really fantastic calls. Working now with Dave Barnett, some of the great things that have happened offensively with Mason Fine, and just the excitement of some of the play-by-play. But on this night, I was still working with George, and he asked the question on this fourth down: does Rice still want to go for the end zone? And yeah, they do. And so let's have fun with this play. This is fourth down. You're leading 28-16. This play seemed to last about a half hour when it actually occurred. McHarg runs about 40 yards here. And is Abby being held there, guys, on the ground?
He got held. He got held. But the refs go on to see you fight, try to get up. Abby kind of laid there a little too long. So they ain't give him no call. We wouldn't get no calls no way.
Well, we've talked about
he let the ref know.
We've talked about a lot of guys, but Laramie Lee finishes this off, and George's call was "Good night," says Laramie Lee, and "Happy Halloween." And just watch Laramie get all the lumber on this one.
Man, I mean, it was great. It was great coverage by everybody. I mean, like you said, quarterback running around forever back there. I come off my man just run, try to go get him. I miss him, and I mean, Lee, telling you,
you didn't want to get hit by Lee.
You didn't want to get. Look, I'm talking. This is a funny story. So Lee came on his official visit, right? Quiet dude, was cool though. Cool, quiet dude. Came on official visit, and I can't remember what coach said, but it was like, "This the hitman." And now, we in college, like hitman. Talk about some dude from high school, like whatever. We all used to knock people out in high school. It was high school, whatever. But from day one, when we put those pads on, I said, okay, I see why they call him hitman. I'm telling you, this dude was the hardest hitter on the team. Yeah. Like, he will lay you. Nobody wanted to get hit by this dude. I'm telling you, dead serious. Like, nobody wanted to get hit by this guy. And I mean, it was fitting that he finished that play right there. And I mean, quarterback felt that one because Lee, that dude, hey, hitman is for real, man.
Hitman was there. This dude, I've never seen more people in games because of Laramie Lee. I think after this game we played UTEP. I think Aaron Jones was the running back then. Yeah. Somebody broke the dude at UTEP ribs.
Yeah.
He broke a dude at Ball State ribs.
Yep. Broke somebody collarbone.
Broke somebody collarbone at Ball State. He put 2 people out at Ball State.
Yeah.
Like
I got a good friend. I got a good friend that played at Louisiana Tech. He played receiver for Louisiana Tech, and he would tell me, he was like, hey, our coach the whole week was like, go get number 2-7, like on crack blocks and everything, just because.
They heard him early in the game.
Yeah, they actually heard him. They were gunning for him because they was like, he's not about to hurt our guys, man. Like, that dude Lee used to be hitting, man, for real. Like, perfect, clean form tackles, but I don't know how he did it, but he had some explosion and some pop behind him because, I mean, ooh.
He'll hit you if you in the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a lot of friendly fires. Like, hey, man, like, you'll be sore from the game, and it'll be from a hit that Lee did to you. Like, come on, man. But Lee, that dude, I love that dude, man. That dude was tough, man, for real.
I can hear Coach Mack saying it's not a tea party. If you want a tea party, don't come on my field.
Oh, for real, man, for real. Coach Mack wasn't playing, but that's the thing I loved about Coach Mack. Like, Coach Mack, if you weren't tough, you had no chance. And that's what you, as a player that love ball, that's what you want. You want to play with tough guys. You don't have to be the most talented guy. You don't have to be the best player ever. But as long as you tough and you play hard, we can rock with you. And Coach Mack, you weren't stepping on his field. First of all, you weren't gonna make it on the team because you weren't gonna make it through workouts if you wasn't tough or anything like that. Because those workouts, Coach Wintrick and those guys, I mean, they got afters for real. Like, Trice know that. So.
Well, your 8-play stand is complete. The game's not over, but you talk about toughness. Now's the time to really ratchet things down. And strong defense basically ices up this win. This kind of terror on the quarterback that we're seeing is really what happened from this point on. You pick up your 6th win, but you guys rolled the rest of the way, all the way through that Heart of Dallas Bowl, making life miserable for opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like Zach said earlier, man. That season was just a total team effort. You know what I'm saying? You said earlier that we were +9 in the turnover battle. Well, the number one thing on number two thing actually on our plan to win of the year. First thing was play great defense. Second thing was take care of the football. And so we knew each week if we did that, then things would work themselves out. This our D line, like Rice didn't run spread. Like this is what Rice wanted to do. You look at right now, end of the game, they got 10 personnel, which is one running back, like no tight ends. Like this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to have tight ends in the game. They wanted to go misdirection counter. Like we got them out of the element. And like, so that's why our D line was able to just cut loose and we getting pressure with four. You got Bino, like I said, Sarge McCoy, Richard Abbey, Alex Lincoln, Ryan Boutwell. Like it's just, especially when you got some guys up front that care about ball as much as you do. It make it easy to do your job.
Yeah.
And you come up with the icing pick there, second of the game for you. And this concludes the game. It was what everybody on the team had been talking about since the camp. Let's hit 6. Let's get bowl eligible. Obviously, after tonight, you had a whole reset of goals, and there was a lot out there in front. There was some disappointment that year, I know, in not winning the West and maybe not going to a bowl outside the area. But as I look back on it, guys, it was a gift playing at the Cotton Bowl. It was a huge day for this program to have that sea of green and for you guys to deliver. If you had to do it over again, would you write the script any differently, or would you still want to finish that season right here in Dallas on New Year's Day?
I personally, I wouldn't want any type of way. I think everything played out the way it was supposed to be. I mean, we had every intention. We went in to UTSA thinking like, we was about to get after them like we did everybody else, and they were a tough team, good team, and we didn't play our best, mainly due to how they played, and they got us, but it worked out perfectly for us because we were able to have a game at home, and it's been so long since North Texas had a bowl game, and we finally had one, and we wanted a lot of people to be able to make. I remember Coach Mack asked us, he was like, "Do you guys want to play at the Heart of Dallas Bowl? You guys want to play?" I think maybe it was like Hawaii or something, and all of us were like, "Nah, we want to play at the crib right up the street," mainly in part because we want to be with our families and the fans, and it was the best home game in our career. You know what I mean? So it was great, man, to see it coming out of that Cotton Bowl um, stadium and seeing the sea of green, and then holding up the trophy at the end and getting that bowl win. I think it was just the third time in school history. I mean, you can't rewrite that script any better, in my opinion. So I wouldn't change a thing, man. It worked out how it's supposed to work out. Man upstairs said, "This, I'm gonna let you guys, enjoy y'all last game in front of family and friends and the school," and that's what we were able to do.
Yeah.
Trice, walking down that tunnel at the Cotton Bowl was something you thought you'd be doing for Oklahoma when it began, but you ended up doing it for North Texas, and had to have been a huge thrill.
It really was just for me, like I say, like, and I've talked to a lot of guys about this, and mainly like guys I'm close to, but I'll say it here too for the fans. Like North Texas was a saving grace for me. Like they gave me a second opportunity to fall in love with the game again, and to really make an impact. And you know what I'm saying, being voted a team captain and having the honor and the privilege and earning the right to walk down with Zach Orr and Brandon Bird and Mason Warbaro, guys who I still love and admire today. It meant the world to me. And like Zach could tell you, like just having that opportunity was like really just a sum of kind of the things that I went through, like to get to that point that we went through as a team and that I went through as an individual to get to that point. And like that's literally my fondest memory. Walking down that tunnel for our last game as seniors, uh, in a sea of green. It was essentially a home game for us. It was a ball game, but essentially it replaced our senior night because we lost senior night to UTSA. So that was like an extension of our senior night, having a chance to do it over. You know what I'm saying? Coach Mack said, you can't do it over. You can't play nobody twice. Well, for us, we got 2 senior nights, and on the last one, we got it right. And so, man, it was a special moment. Like North Texas holds a very special place in my heart and in my household. And the guys who I built relationships with, Zach Orr, Brandon Bird, Breland Chancellor, I can name literally everybody on our roster. And a lot of us still talk to this day. A lot of us especially a lot of us are high school coaches right here at DFW. So, I mean, there is no replacing what we accomplished, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm sorry for talking so long, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Good.
No, you guys have been great, and we've now done this same revisit 2 weeks in a row. You want to do it again next week? We just get together in Zoom. Who cares if anyone else is on? Great memories, and really awesome that both of you guys are in the game as coaches, because obviously you've got special talents, and I think whether it's at the professional level with Zach or the high school level with Marcus, it's just another great extension of North Texas out there for us as an athletic department and a fan base. So I know I speak for everybody in thanking you both. I hope you guys will get your letter winners membership, updated if it hasn't been. And we do have a ballot out there with Derek Thompson on it. So remind all your teammates the way to help influence that is to join the Letter Winners Association and cast your ballot. We hope all of our letter winners are able to do that in the month of May. And to both of you guys, I hope we're back and playing football really, really soon, because if nothing else, these revisits have gotten me fired up. I mean, I'm ready to watch the pads come on and the helmets. But thanks for making a little bit of this COVID crisis a little bit better for the Mean Green Nation. And we thank you guys very much.
Appreciate y'all, man. Go Mean Green.
Hey, Trice, we got it better the second time around because of that haircut. You look a lot better.
Hey,
Hey, you fresh, my boy.
See, I got the bookshelf behind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see.
Look, color coordinated. You see it?
Yeah, or told me before the call, those are all coloring books. That's why they're all color coordinated.
My fiance a therapist, bro. So like, these are literally all books that she's read. Like, you want to see my section? This is my section right here.
Dang.
Trice.
Yeah, you smart. Hey, you smart, bro. You got with the smart. You marrying somebody smarter than you. That's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, that's what you're supposed to do. Hey, you see what I got though?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Yes,
just got that mug hung up, bro.
Nice. I better get
Hey,
mine.
y'all ain't still recording, are you?
Well, now, see, here's the deal. This takes the place of me walking around my back porch. We're getting a tour of the Trice mansions. This is
No, man. You can't tell people I don't read none of them books. They ain't gonna.
Well, we may have to rebrand this as Smack Talk with Marcus and Orr. But again, guys, thank you so much. Don't know what our next episode will be, but this one was really a blast. And so thanks for being a part of At Home with Hank at my home away from home, Radio 1. And Mean Green fans, we'll come up with another one here soon. But thanks for being with us on behalf of Virus, our sponsor, Zach Orr, Marcus Trice, Zach Powell, the Wizard of Oz, who puts all of this together. I'm Hank Dickinson saying, so long, stay healthy, and go Mean Green.